What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Gaming Show. My name's AJ Gels. How y'all doing? It is time once more for the weekly show. If you're new to this program, basically what we do, we sit down here and we read video game articles. We'll also watch some videos. We got one today. We got about 10 minutes of Catherine full body gameplay. I'm not sure what to expect. If it's anything new, I haven't seen it. As usual, I want to go in blind, give you guys my raw opinions. Honestly, I'm stoked for the game. I love it. I love the original Catherine. I'm playing it right now on the channel. And really looking forward to the sequel, or I guess the remake, whatever. Trying to think, I got distracted there for a second, but what was I talking about? Right, if you're new to the channel, or new to this program, yeah, basically that's what we do. We sit here, we talk video game articles, I give my opinions, sometimes I just ramble. I'd say it's 90% ramble, in all honesty. That's kind of just, that should be like the subline of the channel, 90% ramble, but either way, that's the idea. Down in the description will be a link to every article and video, so you can watch/read them without me having to talk, without having to listen to me, or you can find timestamps down there of when each topic is covered. So if maybe one isn't, kind of grabbing you, you can kind of skip around at your leisure or leisure. I do this every time I say leisure, and either way, I'm going with leisure. I wanted to do some quick channel updates here, so you can go ahead and skip to the first article if you would like. And now that I kind of gave you guys that chance, going into my channel updates, I'm trying to think what I want to talk about first. Let's talk about what we got coming up this weekend, and then probably we'll talk about what's coming up in June and whatnot. So this weekend itself, I am planning on finishing about 4 series right now. So over the next day and a half, 2 days, expect a lot of Catherine, A Plague Tale: Innocence, Valkyria Chronicles 4, and Darksiders 3. I want to knock all 4 of those games off my docket this weekend. Along with at least episode 2 of Life is Strange 2. I don't know what it is about that game so far that's really just not been grabbing me. I might have had to scale things back. I was supposed to be going to the Indy 500 tomorrow, but due to some weather concerns, my parents were just like, "Yeah, we'll give away the tickets to somebody who actually wants to go or whatever." Just because it looks like it's going to rain. It's no fun to drive all the way down to Indianapolis, then have to deal with the rain and then maybe not even being able to see the race because I've got stuff to do tomorrow. My dad's got stuff to do tomorrow, so it's just. It's one of those. It's better just to give them away to somebody who would actually, use them and enjoy and be able to, actually go 2 days in a row, whatever. So that's the thing. All in all, I'm not terribly disappointed. I just use the 500 as an excuse to day drink, make it less depressing. But it's so like I said, either way, Catherine, Plague Tale, Valkyria Chronicles, and Darksiders 3. Those are the 4 games that I want to finish out this weekend, and so I can make way for some fun new series that I have planned. I have one more planned before the end of the month. I'm kind of transitioning into what we have coming up in June, or at the end of May and June. So this one series, I kind of talked about wanting to do this with some people a while ago, and I talked about actually picking up this game. I meant to actually start this series a long time ago. I just never got around to it, but I will be starting either sometime tomorrow or on Monday. We will be playing my favorite Rockstar game of all time. We will be playing Bully on the channel. Absolutely love the game. It is the Scholarship Edition. Be playing it through Xbox One's backwards compatibility, all that. I'm really looking forward to sitting down and playing that game with you guys. I stand by. I think it holds up, and like I said, probably my favorite Rockstar game of all time. And then after that, next week on the 2nd of June, I actually plan on starting 2 series that day. That is, Spec Ops: The Line. That should be a pretty quick turnaround, but I mean, that's a really cool game, deals with some really neat issues. Gameplay wise, it's kind of meh, but either way, I like the game, so we'll be doing Spec Ops: The Line and Borderlands in preparation for Borderlands 3 later this year. Trying to think what else. I'm looking up and trying to read my schedule in the dark here. Then the week after that is E3. I have the 4 conferences that I'm planning on looking at this year, and that is Microsoft, Bethesda, Ubisoft, and Square Enix. If anybody wants to see Devolver Digital, tell me. I'll look about adding it to the mix. Other than that, the day after E3, we'll be starting Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. I have kind of figured out how I want to play through the Kingdom Hearts series. By that day, I'm going to try to have Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 3 both finished, so we can keep going with the Kingdom Hearts franchise. What else do I have planned? Other than that, I have 2 other games planned for June, and that is Judgment, I believe, on the 21st, and The Sinking City on the 27th. So, kind of a look at what I have planned coming up for the next couple weeks, and also while I'm starting all these, I'm really going to be trying and hammer through and finish up a lot of other series that I have active right now. I'm kind of stalling because I feel like there was one other big thing. All right, sorry if you noticed a cut there. I just kind of I just remembered there was one other thing I wanted to bring up, and this was to kind of let you guys know about this, or if you want to kind of look into this topic on your own before I do the video on it. I think it was last week, I talked about there's a bill going out about loot boxes, whatever. It's in the U.S. Senate right now. But the bill, as far as I finally found a PDF of the bill, apparently it's getting some bipartisan support. I'll be taking a look at, actually, I want to read the bill first and then sit down and actually go through it with you guys. I want to actually sit down, read the bill, and give my takes on it, as well as the article covering it. Expect that video, I'd say in the next day or two. I'm not sure when I'm going to do it, but unlike the last time when I said I was going to cover this topic in an actual video format, I feel like now that I actually have the bill in front of me, it would be a little bit more substantial than just me rehashing my general I don't like this ideas with it. So either way, just wanted to throw that out there. Now, actually, on to our first big news story. Really, there was some stuff this week. It's just I don't know. None of it to me was really grabbing me as that one big story. So a lot of this week is going to be, hey, here's some new stuff. Hey, this company's working on this. This company's working on that. But really, our first one, which I actually think this might be the biggest surprise coming out of this week, and that is 2020's Call of Duty game may be developed by Treyarch and not Sledgehammer. Article Surreal Vasquez, Game Informer. As far as I know, because this was from earlier in the week, this is from the 18th. So, from what I've been able to tell, that this is... What is it? Okay, so, note this error right here. What was I saying? As far as I can tell, that this is true, that it is being done by Treyarch and not by Sledgehammer. So, as far as I can tell from all the reporting that I've seen on this topic. So, okay, the article reads, Activision has released at least one Call of Duty game every year since 2005. Man. And while we haven't heard much about the Series 2019 entry, it's safe to say it'll make it out before the end of the year. As for the entry after that, the one releasing in 2020, we can't be as sure. A new report from Kotaku indicates that in order to keep up its yearly release schedule, Activision has shifted duties around a bit. Currently, we get we get a new Call of Duty year every... God damn it, we get a new Call of Duty year every year. From one of the 3 major studios, with other studios pitching in to help, Treyarch, Infinity Ward, and Sledgehammer, with each releasing a new game every 3 years. 2020 was previously on track to see the next game from Sledgehammer and Raven, the latter of which is reported to have been taking lead on this project. But we'll now instead see another we'll see another Treyarch-helmed Black Ops game, which, considering Black Ops 4 released just last year, would mean the team would have to turn around another game in just 2 years as opposed to the usual 3. One reason for the change, according to Kotaku's report, is, quote, tension, end quote, between Raven and Sledgehammer, which had been arguing frequently about the project. Quote, 2 people familiar with the project described it as a mess, end quote, the report states. Both Raven and Sledgehammer are now reportedly working to support Treyarch on Black Ops 5 instead. Some developers tell Kotaku they're afraid this will lead to crunch time on the studio, while others are excited about the change. Recently, Sledgehammer had seen some upheaval of its own. Founder Glenn Schofield had left the company in December. Actually, again, earlier version of the erroneously reported, Glenn Schofield had joined 2K, and that is apparently an error. We reach out to Activision for a statement on the report, and we'll update the story if we hear anything back. So again, a lot of this is kind of wishy-washy, you know, not entirely sure what's going on. I don't know. They're talking about Black Ops 5 like, oh my god, they'll only have 2 years to work on the next Black Ops game. Well, if they do what they did with the last one, it's just going to be a multiplayer shooter. Okay, design them. Maybe I'm not understanding all the work that goes into developing a Call of Duty multiplayer shooter, but it's going to be a first-person shooter. It's going to be a competitive shooter, maps, progression, weapons, all that. I mean, really, Call of Duty multiplayer, at least in my opinion, really hasn't changed all that much since I can't even think. It's been a long time, man. I'm not, again, I keep saying this, I'm not a multiplayer guy, so in all honesty, I don't care what they're going to do with the next Black Ops. I played Black Ops 3 or 4, whatever the last Black Ops 4. Wasn't bad. It just, I'm not going to buy it because I don't want to drop that kind of cash. I mean, honestly, if Sledgehammer's not doing Call of Duty games anymore, I might just abandon the franchise altogether. Because frankly, I loved Advanced Warfare. Kevin Spacey's performance in that game was great. The story itself was fun. I really hate that it brought about that meme of press X to pay respect, but I can ignore that. I enjoyed Advanced Warfare, and then Infinity Wars. I enjoyed Infinite Warfare, whatever the one was in space. I really liked that one. I like that one by Infinity Ward. It's just, I don't know. What Treyarch's doing with the series. If it's just going to be Treyarch making multiplayer focused games, and I get why they just made a multiplayer focused one, just because really that's what this series is well known for. I get why. It's just as soon as you start saying, you know what, we're not even going to try with stories, I say I'm done with Call of Duty altogether. I just do not care about the franchise anymore. That's my take on that, and especially if Sledgehammer's going to back out. Like I said, I liked Advanced Warfare. I loved WW2, but whatever. I get it. I mean, it's for the gaming community as a whole, not just my personal opinions. Yada yada yada. I get that. Okay, moving on. We got our next article coming by way of PC Gamer and 80 Chalk. The next Call of Duty game is just called Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And I believe this is talking about the 2019 Call of Duty, not the 2020 Call of Duty. I don't know. This is really confusing. If it seems like I'm talking and I'm going around in circles, I'm sorry. I'm sitting here like sweating my ass off now. It got really hot in my room in like the last 5 minutes. Oh God, gotta keep hydrated. There's been a lot of excuse me. There's been a lot of speculation about where the next Call of Duty game will take us, with most of it squarely focused on the Modern Warfare series. Someone said what sounded an awful lot like Modern Warfare 4 in a video clip of an April preview event, and Robert 402, I have no idea, Bowling, formerly the high-profile community manager and creative strategy at Infinity Ward, posted some rather on-the-nose tweets earlier this month. Now it looks even more like Captain Price and company are about to make their return. Earlier today, YouTuber Long Sensation tweeted this: Call of Duty 2019 is called Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I'm not joking. That and $1.50 will buy you a cup of coffee, but shortly afterward, Kotaku weighed in to say that the leak is accurate. The site said it hasn't seen the game itself, but Activision has been showing it off to press and streamers for the past couple of weeks, and many sources have told it that Call of Duty Modern Warfare is the title. It's easy to forget that the original Modern Warfare was actually Call of Duty 4, so this isn't exactly the same title as the first game in that sub-series, but it's close enough that it's bound to cause a few headaches for anyone who has to keep them straight. Right here. You know what? In all honesty, in all honesty, guys, I did not like Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. I'm just going to say it. I didn't like it. Maybe it's because that was the first one that was kind of coming off of World War II and everything. Honestly, I love the World War II series. Big Red 1 is still my favorite Call of Duty game to this day. And when I played Modern Warfare, I didn't care. I mean, the all gillied up mission, I think is probably the best thing out of that one, and that is my favorite. But all in all, gotta be honest, it's why this crap doesn't excite me like I think would excite some people. I just do. I never liked Modern Warfare. I tried playing the sequel. I mean, I kind of liked it. I mean, it was really gutsy that they went for that one mission where you shot up the airport. But just, I don't know, man. It just did not. I don't know. The Modern Warfare series never grabbed me like the World War II series did. I don't know if I'm the only one. Probably am. But, either way. The reason for the lack of number, according to Kotaku, is that it will be a reboot of the series with a greater emphasis on emotionally hefty and uncomfortable moments like the infamous No Russian mission from Modern Warfare 2, in which players witnessed and could participate in a massacre of civilians at a Moscow airport. Excuse me. You know what? Honestly, if they do that... Okay, you know what? I'll say this. Look, if they are going to focus on the emotionally hefty moments, yeah, I know there was that one moment, when you got nuked, and people try and sell me Modern Warfare was really emotional or whatever. Maybe I need to go back and replay it. It's just, again, like I said, it never grabbed me the way that the World War II ones did. I don't know. Maybe I'll give this new one a shot. If they can really land these emotional hefty moments, and with missions kind of like that No Russian mission, you know what? Maybe I'll give them a shot. I don't know. I'll play this one by ear, in all honesty. It's all still entirely unofficial, as Activision hasn't commented on it and surely won't before the official reveal, which, based on an earnings call from earlier this month, will happen sometime within the next month and a bit. But if I was a betting man, I know where I'd be putting my money. He even photoshopped the 3 out of his shirt, for heaven's sake. Robert Bowling, meet me at 10 p.m. I should get some sleep, me at 2 a.m. God, still, that's funny. No, I mean, as far as, do I think this is true? Usually when these leaks, and look, like or hate Kotaku, usually I think they do have a good pulse, either have their finger on the pulse of this industry when it comes to leaks. Their company, I think, is usually right when they report and say, yeah, this leaks, as far as we can tell, these leaks they have legs, they don't have legs, whatever. So yeah, I would believe that the next Call of Duty is a Modern Warfare game. If they are rebooting Modern Warfare, I'll give it a shot, and really kind of see what there is to see here. But again, it's like I said, I don't hold out a whole hell of a lot of hope here or excitement, just because wasn't a fan of the original. I'm gonna be entirely honest with you guys on that. So, all right, moving on to some stories over here on Games Radar. The first one we've got is The Last of Us 2, Death Stranding, and Ghost of Tsushima still PS4 bound as Sony reaffirms support for current gen. Article John West of, as I said, Games Radar. With the PS5 on the near horizon, there is a question being asked just how much life there is left in our current generation, such as PlayStation. Where was I? I'm sorry, I looked away from the screen. Such as the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, thanks to a leak straight out of Sony's 2019 corporate strategy meeting, which has already given us a PS5 gameplay reveal. The console manufacturer has taken steps to ensure investors that the PS4 will continue to play a crucial role in the company's strategy for the years to come. And look, just because we're getting confirmation that The Last of Us 2, Death Stranding, and Ghost of Tsushima are all PS4 bound, or they're all going to be PS4 games, okay? So that makes me sit here and think that the next-gen consoles are going to be 2021 at the earliest. At the earliest, 2021. Because The Last of Us 2, I have coming out next year. That's my guess. At the earliest, I have Death Stranding next year. I still think Death Stranding comes out 2021. And Ghost of Tsushima, I'm really hoping comes out this year, that I don't have to wait till next year for that one. Honestly, for the love of God, can we just actually get details on these games? But either way, I still think that at the earliest we see next generation in 2021. That's been my guess for a while now. And I still think it could be later. I still kind of lean towards 2022 as being a more solid date, but I don't know. Maybe that's my wishful thinking or whatever. In its steps to outline what Sony called the critical role of the PS4, in a presentation that was leaked this morning, the company noted that the system, quote, will remain the engine of engagement and profitability for the next 3 years, end quote. Also going on to note that there is still an, quote, outstanding roster exclusive AAA game still to come, end quote. So again, yeah, I mean, for the next 3 years, I mean, again, I'm not sure if that includes this year, so 2019, 2020, 2021, I'm still calling next generation comes out 2022. I'm trying to think, have I actually given my call on the exact date. I don't think I've actually given it a firm year. I've said I think that next gen's been about 2-3 years out. And yeah, I think, especially if they're saying this. I mean, maybe they're saying this meaning that the PS5 is going to come out within those 3 years, but the PS4 they're still going to develop for the PS4. They're going to do like dual releases or whatever. Because I mean, we do know that the PS5 does have backwards compatibility. I'm not sure exactly how to take this, but I'm making my call right now. I'm kind of putting my flag in the sand that next gen hardware 2022. That's just my opinion. Alongside that statement are place order box art images for The Last of Us Part 2, Death Stranding, and Ghost of Tsushima, once again reaffirming previous reports that these blockbuster titles are still bound for current gen systems, all likely to launch within the next 3 years, if not before. It's also worth noting that these titles will be playable on PS5, with Sony making a lot of noise about its commitment to backwards compatibility. I keep saying this. Thank God they're doing that. I love that they're bringing back backwards compatibility. I love that that idea. And look, I think there's actually been studies and research done on this that show that a lot of people really don't use it too terribly much. But I like that you're going to put it in there. How to put this? I like that it's an option. I'll put it that way. I like having the option of backwards compatibility rather than not, I'd rather have it and not use it than want it and not have it, if that makes sense. And also looking at my library, my PS4, honestly, I like the idea that it's not all that I don't have to keep my PS4 around, that I can just get a PS5, either pass my PS4 along to somebody who's, and maybe just once a game sit, something kind of like my dad. I'm sure he'd play like The Show. He'd play whatever. Hell, I could give my dad my PS2 and he'd play 06 The Show and be perfectly happy. But that I could pass my PS4 along to somebody who just kind of wants a gaming console that can, just for the fun of it. They aren't like serious gamers or whatever. And I can then get a PS5, or hell, I could sell my PS4. I could do whatever the hell I want with my PS4. I don't know, use it as a paperweight. That I just don't have to leave it in my entertainment system. I don't have to leave it hooked up, have even more cords, have even more crap just to play my PS4 and my PS5. No, I like the backwards compatibility about this, and I always will. I love the idea. Quote, we will leverage backwards compatibility to transition our company to next gen faster and more seamlessly than ever before, end quote. A slide reads in the presentation, which then goes on to mention that PS4 will, quote, provide the fertile early adopter gamer base critical for next gen success, end quote. Now, I hope PlayStation can do with PS5 what they did with PS4 and just keep dominating. I've really loved what they did with the PS4. And I was a 360 guy last gen. Really hope that they can keep this train going. All of this is to say that Sony still believes in this generation and that there are plenty of upcoming PS4 games in the pipeline. That isn't all that much of a surprise, given that it believes the PS4 will exceed an install base of 100 million this year. To put that in context, the PS3 had an estimated sales base of 86 million. While the original PlayStation comes in around 104 million, the PlayStation 2 still stands as the best-selling console of all time at 157 million, a number the PS4 could well rival in the years to come. I will say it will beat out the PlayStation. I will say that. I think the PS4 will beat out the PlayStation. Will it beat out the PS4? That's a question. I don't think the PS4 does the PS4 beat out the PS2? I don't think so. I think the PlayStation 2 will remain the top at 157. Now, if PS4 can, how to put this? With the PlayStation 3, they made the game. I've said this before. They made the thing look weird. They made the thing cost too much. They made the thing too complicated to use. A lot of extra crap with that. Kind of a lot of the stuff that Xbox kind of did with this generation. They made the thing too freaking big. They made the UI so complicated. It was more expensive because of them trying to push the Kinect. Just a lot of dumb crap, and then the fact that they. And unlike PlayStation, they didn't go to fix any of these issues, because PS3 actually gained ground on the 360. I think it actually beat it out by the end of the generation. Either way, PS4, I'm kind of hoping that the PlayStation 5, they continue with this trend. And if they do continue with this trend, I think it's possible that the PS5 beats out the PS2. I'm remaining positive in that sense. I think it's possible that the PS5, if PlayStation can continue this trend, will beat out the PS2. Alongside this news, Sony also noted that 90% of all PS4 consoles have connected to the PlayStation Network in the last 12 months, meaning that the server has over 94 million active users, while over 36 million of those users are active PlayStation Plus subscribers. Basically, don't worry if you aren't ready to make the leap to PS5, Sony is still committed to investing heavily in the PlayStation 4, as is working to ensure that no player is left behind across generations. The PS5 was confirmed earlier this year, blah, blah, blah. See, it's like the PS5 won't be releasing until May 2020 at the earliest. See, no way it's going to release in May. It's going to release in the fall. I do not think they release it in May. I mean, look, even fall 2020, I still think is early, but either way, I've already gone into talking about that itself. I really like this comment of them saying how Sony's really trying to not leave people behind, that they're really trying to pull gamers with them, that they're really trying to, you enjoyed, how to put this, that you enjoyed, I'm trying to think how to express this, that you guys have enjoyed PlayStation, and we're going to do right by you. We're not just going to say, hey, here, give us money if you want to keep playing PlayStation games. No, we're going to keep working with you. We're not, just because you don't want to invest in the next generation of consoles doesn't mean we're not going to still have games for you. You know, what game companies used to do, in all honesty, and which has really kind of gone out, kind of been pushed to the back seat in recent years. I'm really glad to see that Sony's going to be really trying to work with people and really do this kind of stuff. I absolutely love what Sony's doing here, and I think, and again, it's like I said, if Sony can keep this up, Sony's in for a hell of a time when the PS5 actually comes out. Okay, if my rambling and everything, I'm actually getting dizzy while I'm sitting here, so I gotta stand up and leave this room for a second. All right, man, guys, sorry about that, and if I've seemed absolutely insane for the last couple articles. Like I said, I was sitting here in my room recording. I just started getting like a sweat, and then I got to the end of that last article, and I just started getting really dizzy. I was I was shaking when I walked out. I think I was just like dehydrated or something. But either way, I'm feeling better, feeling up to whatever the hell it is that I'm doing. Moving on to our next article, we got, after its closure, more Telltale games are disappearing. Article, Jeremy Winslow of GameSpot. If coping with the closure of Telltale games last fall isn't hard enough, still dealing with it personally. Honestly, the main reason why I'm still dealing with it is because The Wolf Among Us 2 isn't happening. If coping with the closure of Telltale games last fall isn't hard enough, blah, blah, blah. According to the digital distribution site GOG, the now defunct studios games are being delisted from the storefront. A post on the site's forum states that the rest of Telltale's titles will be removed from GOG on Monday, May 27th at 3 a.m. PST, 6 a.m. EST, 10, all the times right there. This includes The Wolf Among Us, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Hector Badge of Carnage, never heard of that. Batman the Telltale series, Batman the Enemy Within, the entire Sam & Max series, the Puzzle Agent series, and Strong Agent's Bad Cool for attractive people. Or Strong Bad's Cool Game for attractive people. Never heard of that. Anyone who purchased these games on GOG before the delisting will still have access to the titles in their libraries, the post confirms. Tales from the Borderlands was also supposed to be cut, but according to a statement from publisher 2K to Eurogamer, quote, "We are working to get Tales from the Borderlands back up on digital storefronts as soon as possible. All prior digital purchases of the game will, of course, still be honored and supported," end quote. Honestly, in this one, I love Tales from the Borderlands. It's at least glad to see that is still going to stick around. I don't want to say that the Batman games were good, but okay, let them go. Same with Guardians of the Galaxy. The Wolf Among Us is a loss, because I thought The Wolf Among Us was probably Telltale's best, in my opinion. And these other ones, but again, Wolf Among Us and Tales from Borderlands, I think those are the two biggest losses. Maybe some seasons of The Walking Dead, I'm not sure. As a whole, I wouldn't say that series is phenomenal, but I think that series did have some standout moments. Tales from the Borderlands and The Walking Dead cannot be purchased on Steam at this time. A handful of other series, such as the complete Sam and Max series and the final season of The Walking Dead, cannot be bought on Steam either. While games like Batman, the Telltale series, and The Wolf Among Us are listed as available for purchase, it's unclear if the rest of Telltale's games will be pulled from the platform on Monday. With the news of GOG pulling Telltale's catalog from the platform, it's possible that the PlayStation and Xbox One stores could face a similar fate in the near future. As of now, though, both the PlayStation Store and Xbox One Store list Telltale games as available for purchase. The California-based studio closed its doors October 2018. The shuttering, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, we all basically know that. Had 3 new games in development. Game of Thrones, Stranger Things, and The Wolf Among Us. Honestly, don't care about the Stranger Things one. I wanted to see what they were going to continue with Game of Thrones. I really liked the first season. How it kind of tied its original characters into the story. And I was kind of interested to see what they were going to do with a second season. And then The Wolf Among Us was just, oh, Jesus Christ, that game was good. No, and again, it's sad, and it's sad to see some of these games go, I guess. But there you go. So if you want to buy them, hurry up. Moving on to our next article. I think that's kind of like the last of the sad news. I think everything else is pretty upbeat now. Until Dawn devs new nautical horror. That's fun to say. Medan. I'm still going to say Medan, personally. Gets an August release date. Article by Matt Wales of this is Eurogamer. Until Dawn developers Supermassive Games has revealed the Man of Medan, whatever. The first installment in its Dark Pictures anthology horror series will be scaring up a storm on Xbox One, PS4, and PC on 30th August, whatever. Based on everything we've seen so far, the Dark Picture anthology looks to build on the popcorn-munching cinematic thrills of Supermassive's enormously enjoyable interactive slasher horror Until Dawn, particularly in regard to its choice-driven branching narrative, with each new entry set to dabble in a different subgenre of horror. For the Man of Medan specifically, though, Supermassive is swapping creaking cabins in endless moonlit forests for a great big boat and a whole lot of water. As previously revealed, it follows a group of divers as they set out in search of a rumored WW2 shipwreck while on holiday. As a storm rolls in, however, the crew finds itself trapped aboard a seemingly abandoned ship and forced to confront the secrets it's been harboring all these years. Again, I'm gonna be honest. I loved Until Dawn. I thought the game was great. It was really fun. I loved how it kind of kept you guessing of that whole, what kind of horror game is this? It's supernatural. Is it slasher? Is it this? It had a lot of kind of a lot of, what's the term? A lot of misdirects. There we go. I think that's the best way to put it. I'm just really curious to see if Man of Medan is going to be Medan. God damn it! I heard Medan in the video that we covered last week for this game, and now that's all I can think of. Either way, my question with this is: it still going to be the same length, or is it going to be shorter? Is it going, because it's part of this like anthology series? Are these going to be like shorter, more consumable games? I mean, hell, I was able to complete Until Dawn in one sitting. In all honesty, the first time I played it, it wasn't like a 2-3 hour sitting. I mean, I started playing. Jeez, when the hell did I start playing? I started playing like 9-10 o'clock, and I was still playing until 5-6 in the morning the next day. But I sat down and I played that thing straight, with my girlfriend hiding behind me, like curled up in blankets because she didn't do well with horror. But no, I really loved that game. So I'm curious to see if Man of Medan or Medan, whatever, is going to be that same that same amount. If there's going to be as much content, because I don't know. I feel like if the game is going to be way shorter than that, I don't know. I think this whole anthology idea can either work for them or could not work for them. I'm not entirely sure. Supermassive offered a more illuminating tease of the horrors awaiting the Man of Medan's unfortunate cast in the trailer last October, which also introduced the Curator, an omniscient Rod Sterling meets the Crypt Keeper figure who will serve as a narrator across the entire anthology. I think we caught bits of him in that video last week. I think I kind of compared him to that guy in the Twilight Zone. Imagine if you will, that sort of thing. Those that pre-order the Medan prior to its Xbox One, PS4, PC launch on August 30th will be granted access to the Curator's Cut. The expanded narrative becomes available after completing the game once and offers new perspective on events, adding alternative characters to previously played scenes, new decisions and choices in each scene that will change the story, plus new scenes and secrets not featured in the original playthrough. What the hell? Why? Just release that. Okay, that doesn't make any. If somebody can explain that choice to me, please do, or can justify that. That's just a weird choice. That, hey, play it once and then you can play it again, but this time it's the real game. The hell? I mean, it reminds me of kind of like what they did with The Quiet Man, but at the same time, I did kind of like how you played it once with no sound and then once with sound. The sad part about it was that game just overall wasn't that good. Yeah, I don't know. It feels like that's kind of what that reminds me of. Just less of a reason to do it. Supermassive says that it, quote, adds a whole new layer to how the player understands and interacts with the story, end quote. Sorry, my dog's barking. Which sounds like it could be a genuinely meaningful addition to the game. It's a shame then that players will be forced into a pre-order if they want to get the most out of the story at launch. Yeah, that just seems scummy. But the developer does at least say the Curator's Cut will be made available to all players later, although currently unspecified date. Yeah, excited for the game. And expect the Let's Play in August. If this article will load. There we go. Capcom has multiple titles in development using Resident Evil 2's graphics engine. Article Aaron Garst of, as I said, Games Radar. Capcom fans rejoiced. The Japanese powerhouse said they have, quote, numerous games in development using their RE engine during a recent financial briefing. The RE engine has been a big part of the success behind Resident Evil 7, the Resident Evil 2 remake, and even Devil May Cry 5. It helps streamline development of all three titles and will continue as a staple in Capcom's development process through the next generation of consoles. One, like the engine. Two, I know Capcom's been saying that Devil May Cry 5 really kind of reinvigorated the franchise, and I'd say Resident Evil 7 did the same thing for Resident Evil. I think Capcom's really been nailing it recently. I think they've been getting back to the roots, like with Resident Evil, making horror games. Devil May Cry getting back to that pure hack and slash fun. I mean, I don't remember people really talking about Devil May Cry 4, in all honesty. I don't remember that game being as big as Devil May Cry 5 was. But I mean, I liked 5. I still wish that the story was a little simpler, and instead of doing this multiple main character thing, and they made it a little overly complicated in my opinion. But all in all, I think Capcom's been killing it lately, and I'm honestly Capcom's one of those studios that I'd pretty much play whatever they're going to drop. But at the same time, this really does push me to actually actively look forward to what Capcom is going to be doing in the future. And I quote, the games we developed using the RE engine during the current hardware generation have received critical acclaim. I don't think that's necessarily because of the engine. I think that's also because you've made some good games. I mean, at least your last three. Again, RE7, RE2, and DMC5. And from the early stages of building this engine, we kept the ability to augment it for next generation development in mind, end quote. Capcom said in Q&A following the financial briefing, quote, as such, we view the RE engine as one of our strengths and will contribute to next generation game creation, end quote. While Capcom has a lot of upcoming series, including multiple Resident Evil re-releases on Nintendo Switch, there are also a few new titles that we know about. I mean, come on, re-releases on the Switch? What, aren't they re-releasing 4 again? And what? I think I read somewhere that Resident Evil 4 is now the most re-released game in history, just because that thing has been re-released so many flipping times. Let's see here. Where was I? Monster Hunter World Iceborne coming in early September is one of the only major games with a confirmed release date. These titles unannounced titles in development with the RE engine could be saved for the PS5. We don't know what any of these new games are, but it's fair to say that Capcom has a fresh Resident Evil game or two in the work or in store. After the success of both Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 2 Remake, the remake alongside Monster Hunter World and Devil May Cry 5 helped Capcom reach its most profitable year ever. Maybe we'll see Resident Evil 8 at E3. Who knows? Like I was saying, I really love what Capcom has been doing lately, and Yeah, holy shit. I gotta stand up and take another. I'm doing 2 articles at a time. I gotta get up and leave my room again. It's just getting stuffy. It's hard to breathe, in all honesty. All right, guys. Well, I'm back, man. If you notice that the time drastically changed when I stood up the last time, I found out what my dog was freaking out about. My mom came home and brought me lunch, and oddly enough, I'm sitting here complaining that it's so freaking hot in here, and I ate Cajun food. Although I'm not going to complain, that's really good food. You know what? Just because it's so freaking hot in here, go check out this 10-minute video of Catherine Full Body over on my Twitter. I'm axing this one from the show just because I can't sit here for another 30-so minutes and keep doing this. I'm really uncomfortable. Got 2 more articles for you guys. Here is, it looks like a new Darksiders and Destroy All Humans games are set for E3. Article Wesley Yinpool of Eurogamer. New Darksiders and Destroy All Humans game looks set for E3. Internet sleuths aligned an image showing THQ Nordic's E3 lineup, with comments made by company boss to deduce the titles. The company is set to announce during THQ Nordic's ill-fated 8chen AMA. An image was uploaded by an employee of the company showing a list of games shown at E3 in June. On the list was Destroy All Humans and Darksiders Genesis. I'm not sure about Genesis. I mean, I'd say it would be a Darksiders game that would take place with all 4 horsemen, but I would say you need to make Darksiders 4 and have us play as the 4th horseman before that, because we really don't know anything about the 4th horseman. But as far as Destroy, I'm not sure about Darksiders Genesis, but Destroy All Humans, thank God the series is coming back. Funny as hell. I mean, hell, even if it's a remake of the original Destroy All Humans, I'm in. I loved Destroy All Humans. It was so fun, well written, goofy. I loved it. Twitter user AfroGear took a screenshot of the image back in February. Destroy All Humans is by far one of the most underrated game franchises. I thought the sequel was okay, and there was one more, wasn't it like a Wii game or something that wasn't great? But definitely the first one. Just remake the first one. That's all I need. It was so much fun playing these games that when I was younger, can you read the tweet? This leaked during when they did the AMA. 2 games are Destroy All Humans and Darksiders Genesis. So again, there you go. In discussing its E3 plans with Gaming Bolt, THQ Nordic, cannot say THQ Nordic. THQ Nordic teased it had 2 unannounced games to reveal at the show. It described one as a remake and the, quote, long-awaited return of the galactically beloved game / franchise, end quote. That's Destroy All Humans. And the other as, quote, new vision of a beloved game / franchise, end quote. Destroy All Humans and Darksiders currently fit those descriptions respectively. I question a little bit on the Darksiders aspect of that, because I really don't want to... I don't want to slam Darksiders and say beloved game franchise. Really, Darksiders 3 was a new vision for that, because they made it more Souls-like than anything. I mean, unless they want to go back to the old hack-and-slash way of doing things, which I'd be all for, but either way. Destroy All Humans has been dormant since 2008's Destroy All Humans Path of the Furon. This new remaster may be designed to prime the franchise and fans for a new mainline entry in the series, as THQ Nordic did with Darksiders. Speaking of Darksiders news, news of a new title in the hack-and-slash series comes half a year after the release of Darksiders 3. Could this new Darksiders be a spin-off in a different genre? Expect more on 10th of June, or June 10th. Like I said, I'm not sure about the Darksiders thing, but the Destroy All Humans, I'm so glad they're coming back. And hopefully if they do a sequel if they remake the original Destroy All Humans, and then, and it does well, and they make a sequel, I really hope it's a direct sequel. Destroy All Humans 1 and then 2 kind of have like a weird disconnect, in my opinion. It really didn't technically need to be connected, because, Destroy All Humans is really just kind of a series about being funny and goofy, and the greatest thing about Destroy All Humans was the writing. And, that and the anal probe, because when you were just mining human brain stems, I loved to run around the opening area, the farm, just and shoot people with the anal probe. That just made me laugh. What was I talking about? Destroy All Humans, right? I really hope we see a new Destroy All Humans game. I really hope that's a thing. All right, let's move on to our final article, and that way I can edit and get out of this room for a little bit, so hopefully tonight when it gets cooler. Holy hell. On Games Radar, Ancestors, the Humankind Odyssey release date is set for August. Finally, you can live your best ape-man life. Article, Connor Sheridan of Games Radar. After years of work, the Ancestors, the Humankind Odyssey release date is official, and it isn't far off. You know the game from one of the creators of Assassin's Creed, where you evolve a clan of hominids from ape men to sort of humans. It's coming out on PC via the Epic Game Store on August 27th, 2019. And it will hit PS4 and Xbox One later this year in December. Ancestors was announced way back in 2015. Excuse me. And it will be the first game Patrice Désilets has seen through to completion since 2010's Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Though he's still planning to get back to Amsterdam 1666 one of these days, read our extensive Ancestors Humankind Odyssey hands-on to get a feel for how far the game has come in all these years. The new video also features a brief playthrough with Désilets and shines some new light on the game, including the inventive approach to fear, the most primordial human feeling. Quote, fear is really an important feature of the game, and quote, Désilets explains, quote, you feel fear as soon as you're a baby and you're far away from your clan, but also when you're going to unknown territories. This is done through a system of dopamine. If you have enough dopamine, you can go through your fear. Quote, now I've got two big choices. I can go back, stay in my little paradise, or I can say, no, let's be curious and see what's on the other side of this. And eventually, the more knowledge I have about the area, eventually I will be able to go further, claim this territory, and conquer my fear, end quote. As long as there's a layer of abstraction between you and what's happening on screen, even the best horror games will never make you feel true mortal turn around and run dread. That's not true. I always feel that, but I'm also a bit of a wimp. Turning fear into a mechanical limit on your exploration of the unknown is a novel alternative to the usual horror tricks, and I'm eager to see how it plays. Yeah, I tend to agree. We took a look at Ancestors, I want to say a couple months ago. I can't remember exactly when, but this game has really fascinated me. I mean, one, it's made by the guy who made probably who kind of helped create one of my favorite video game franchises / video games ever. I loved the original Assassin's Creed. I'm not sure what we're going to get out of Ancestors. I think that Ancestors is going to be one of two things. It's either going to be highly ambitious and achieve what it's trying to do and be really cool, or it's going to be highly ambitious but not achieve what it's going to be, what it wants to be, and it's going to end up being kind of, I don't know. It's going to constantly feel like it's trying to be something but not achieving it. It's going to feel clunky. I don't know what to expect here, but I'm really hoping for the first one. I'm really hoping this game's going to be good, and I'm really excited for Ancestors. I have been for a long time, and we get to play it later this year, or I guess earlier if you're playing it on PC, but I'll wait till console. But either way. Alright guys, that's the show this week. Like I said, this was kind of a light week. I do have a kind of more heavier video. Like I said, we'll actually be reading a bill that's in front of the U.S. Congress in a couple days. As I said at the beginning of the show, I've got a lot of new series planned. I got stuff that I'm going to be working on for the next couple days. And I am sorry if there was so many cuts this week, and that this one I seemed like I was kind of in and out of it. Like I said, I've been dizzy. It's been hard to breathe in this room. I'm gonna, try and I'm gonna, I don't know, put a fan or something somewhere if I can. Either way, thanks for watching. Thanks for putting up with me. Social media, that is Facebook, Twitter, the website, minds.com. Links to that stuff is down in the description below. Like, comment, not already, please subscribe to the channel. And stay tuned more next time. Till then, my name's AJ Gels. Do something game channel. I'm out.